Hello, hello, hello. In this video, you will be learning how to make trees in a temperate climate. We're making a temperate landscape here, making these deciduous trees. Those are the kind of trees whose leaves fall in the fall. All right, I'm going to be drawing in Sharpie, but you can always sketch things out in pencil first, or even practice them on a separate sheet of paper first. I've been practicing drawing these trees and whatnot for all these videos, so I feel pretty confident. I'm going to go without a pencil. Okay, to start with, we are going to make some overlapping hills. So along the edge of your paper, start by outlining that. Hey, I made a mistake drawing my first line. Who else? Let's keep going. Okay, we're gonna make this double bump look like there are overlapping hills. In this example, I did something like this. I continued this line, then at the corner, continued it down here. Another way to make the hills look like they're overlapping from that double bump is to continue this line past the corner to the edge of the paper. So bam, now we have overlap. These hills are overlapping one another because we can't see all of this hill. Keep on using overlap in your drawing as we go. Remember, that's when objects partially cover one another. Okay, let's draw a few more hills for these trees to be living on. I'm going to do a big old hill right here in the center. The center-ish. And then I'm going to put a couple littler hills going back off to the sides. So we got to make at least 2 trees, because we need to use scale and position to create depth in art. I'm looking for objects that are closer to be bigger than objects that are farther away. So what that means is that any object that's closer to the bottom of the paper, it's closer to the viewer and should be bigger than an object in the background. So let's start with our little itty bitty tree. I'm going to put it way up on this hill over here. Draw a little line. Then draw a few squiggly lines coming out the base of the tree. They should go mostly horizontal, side to side. Then we'll make the base of the tree a little thicker. And then where it's real thin up at the top, that's where we're going to start having branches come out. Then for this next part, you're going to want to use a really sharp colored pencil or a fine, super thin fine point Sharpie or a pen like this, because you need to draw a whole lot of little branches coming off of these branches. See how I have all the little branches coming out the end of one branch? That's like a hand. Trees don't grow like hands. They got branches all over the place. So if you want your tree to look like it's in the winter time, leave it with no leaves like that. If you want it to look like it is, spring, summer, or fall, get a color or a pencil and shade on some leaves. So there's the really, really distant tree. I'm going to put the big tree right here. So I'm going to draw a line for the trunk as a guideline. Put a few of these lines coming out the bottom. Those are for the roots. I'll make the base of the trunk thicker. Color it in. And then I'm gonna have branches coming out the top. Sometimes I like to do this where I follow a root, go up the side of the tree, and then have the branch come out. Kind of gives the tree a good flow. Got some big branches. Now I'm going to put in a ton of little ones, a whole lot of these little teeny tiny branches. The more branches you have, the more realistic your tree is going to look. Also, the more branches that you have, the more realistic it looks because it hides any little mistakes that you've made. Trees make lots of mistakes as they grow. The way trees grow, they make a mistake, keep it, and then grow around it. Weird lumps and bumps that you see on trees are usually where the tree got hurt or got an infection or something like that, and it just keeps on growing around it. Trees can really engage and persist. You know, I gotta make connections to other classes when they come about. Okay, branches, branches, branches. And now, a shady, shady, shady shade. Show those leaves. We're not coloring the leaves in totally black because leaves are a little bit see-through. That's why trees sometimes look like they're glowing with light. It's the sun getting trapped in the leaves. And of course, you can add in any other little details that you feel like. This one seems like it needs a little something extra, so I'm going to put a basic little house over here. Going to make a plan where the window's going to go, and I'm coloring the rest in black. You can draw people running around. You can draw people outside playing sports. You can draw animals. It's just got to be tiny because these are tiny landscapes. I'm going to use my pencil and make some smoke coming out of the chimney here. And I am finished. I have used scale, you know, the size, and position, being lower or higher, to create depth in my art. The closer objects are bigger than the farther away objects. I also have overlap. I've overlapped objects in my art to create the illusion of depth. Overlap is when one object partially covers another. Have fun drawing, everybody.